Let's take a look at this. I may just be overthinking everything. So one of the things I noticed before, I want to keep eliminating variables, was that I noticed that there was rust in the tank. So I just took the petcock off and drained it. And this is the last little bit in here. And that is rust specks. A lot of them. Now, that should be stopped by these filters, but if they're getting past this, I don't know how much stuff is getting into the carburetors. And I may be chasing issues that don't really exist. Now, these would have just gotten all that shit back into them, so I got to take these back apart. I had to take these apart anyway to reset the float height. Closer to that 17, I'll shoot for 17.5 instead of some of them, which are all the way up at 18.4, but maybe this isn't as complicated as I thought. Maybe I got to deal with the rust and unclog some of the jets. So they've certainly been reclogged. That would explain why it ran okay one day, but as soon as it got more fuel through it, we ended up with this issue. So the thing I wanted to do was actually remove this air box off completely because we had found it full of oil. But just the way it's situated in here, there's no good way to just pull it out. It's close, but I think to actually pull it out, I would need to take off these intake boots. And because these things are pretty prone to cracking and whatnot, and they look fine, but I think I'd just screw up more than I could actually accomplish by pulling the air box out. The only thing I wanted to do was get in here, and you're not gonna be able to see much, but there's a little bit of oil down there. Now that does go to a drain. It's just that that drain was full before, so it backed up all the way into here. So I don't think it's necessary that I pull that out, but I was just trying to be thorough and do it. But I think I'll cause more damage than I would fix if I try pulling that out. So we're just gonna work on the, let's see, derusting the tank and going back through the carburetors, checking out all the jets, and setting the float heights correct. So unfortunately, I can't find anything to actually block this off to fill the tank. So I'm going to have to use the petcock again. Now, I'm just not going to turn it on. There's going to be a lot of shit that comes out of this tank, so I won't actually run any of it through the petcock. Basically, I'll just put this in, use it as a block off, and pull it back out and dump everything out through here. And these all get gummed up, but I'll be able to clean them up from the outside. So I shouldn't be pulling anything through, so it shouldn't be too bad. So here's what we're going to do. If you take a look inside, you'll be able to see all the rust I was talking about. You can see a whole lot more. It might be tough to show on this camera, but you can see a whole lot more, except for right on the bottom. Basically, this must have been stored for a while with no fuel in it. So what I'm going to do is fill it with evaporust, leave it for 24 hours, and that should take off most of the rust inside of this tank. So I like this stuff quite a bit. I've used it a couple times already, so this is gonna be my makeshift filter for bringing this stuff in. It'll work without it, but I figure there'll be less stuff to get out of the tank afterwards. Sweet, let's see how much I can get into my mouth. Oh, pretty good. That's pretty good. I can't see how far down it is in the bucket, but we got probably 4.5 gallons. I'm not sure how big this tank is. Looks like about 4-ish, so might fill it, might not. Oh, come on, I didn't even get close. Okay, so this is going to look really stupid, but it's going to work. I need a way to keep this on the bottom because it's coming up the end of the hose. And this could use a good derusting, so I'm just going to attach this right there. Get this to go to the bottom. Now, why this looks really stupid is because if this was an acid or something, I'd be really hurting myself right now. But the evaporust ain't so bad. And I want to actually run it through that filter on the end. That's why I'm not just funneling it right in. So I'm going to go wash this off in the sink and commence to more. Okay, let's try again. Now we're cooking with gas. Sort of. God damn it, I just wanted to be clever for once. There's too much of a pressure drop, so I'm barely getting anything. There's too much of a pressure drop across that screen. If I remove this screen, I should be alright. So, I mean, it's slowly going. May just end up giving out though once this gets low enough. So, I think I'm going to remove that screen. Just make this happen. And now it's flying again. So we'll get that filled up. Not having the screen on there is going to put a little more crap inside of it, but I'm going to pull the whole petcock off anyway, so most will drop out. It's kind of tough to flush on these things once you're done, and I actually think removing the whole petcock is the best way to do this. I've done it on a couple other bikes before, and it's especially difficult on the Honda 350s because they have these tiny little gas sends under it, which are like, I don't know, an 1/8 inch, and they just get completely clogged, so there's no good way to get through them. So this should be much easier. So the Evaporust has been sitting in there for about 24 hours. I feel pretty comfortable that it's probably done its work, so hopefully this comes out easier than it went in. So I'm just going to put this little guy down in there. Is this going to be high enough? I think it is. Let's find out. Man, I really hate that Ohio State gets to play in the Rose Bowl and Michigan sucks. And Ohio State's got a fun band. Not that Michigan's isn't fun, but Ohio State's is awesome. College football just really makes me sad nowadays. I should probably stop watching it. Come on, stay here. What do we got? A couple gallons. Probably coming up on 2. We're probably past 2. The fun part's going to be shaking all the shit that comes out of here. It's going to be loaded. Luckily, I'll be able to take that petcock off. I haven't found a good thing to flush it with yet. I mean, a good and cheap thing. You put water in it, it's just going to flash rust again, so I'll probably end up using a little bit of acetone I have left and see how much of this I can shake out. I'll have to clean the petcock off because it's going to be full of stuff, but it hasn't drawn anything through it, so should be able to just clean off the filters. This should, yeah, this can't overflow because I only put this much in, so almost there. Okay. Alrighty. The bulk of it is out, and now the fun part begins. The little bit left, the hardest part to get out. Ah, bastard. Really? This is a bad idea, Matt. That's not the worst idea. I wish I knew a fucking good way to do this. That was not a good idea. It was an idea, but it wasn't a good one. Come on. Oh, great, it's going down my sleeve. No! Stop it, just come out! Oh, fuck me! It's exactly what I was trying not to do. Alright, boneheaded idiocy aside, tell me that doesn't look pretty damn good inside of there. That was all rust covered before. And now it's gone. I just gotta get all those little bits of... Yeah, there's a bunch of junk in there. I gotta figure out how to get all that out. But, pretty damn good on the derusting, I'll tell you that. This lip didn't get it, but it wasn't soaking in it. The whole bottom did, though. Okay, so I filled this bad boy up with some acetone. And, I wasn't going to, but I just thought of some... I have actually got to flush out this petcock because I've got it full of evaporust, which is really sticky and all that other garbage. I should probably actually take the whole thing apart anyway, but I probably will. I'm going to run the acetone through it and try to get as much of this shit out of the tank as I can, though. I'm not sure the best way to do that outside of just keep removing the petcock and dump everything. Actually, I can just do it like... Oh, no. Yeah, I'm going to run it through the petcock. I'll pull the stuff out first, strain it, run it through the petcock, flush the thing. That's what's going to happen. Okay, let's see what comes out here. Yes! Ooh, nice and nasty. Super nasty. Come on. Not much left. Okay. All right. That's pretty good. That's all the stuff that's coming out of the tank. See how it looks, and well, that's probably just going to be rinse and repeat of that, and that'll be a derusted tank. So I'm going to see if we can run a little bit of gas through it, or if the petcock needs to be taken back apart. So right now it's in on. Oh, gotta come over a little bit. Right now it's in on. I need to get it to prime. There it's coming out. Not a lot. I think the petcock's got to come back apart. That's cool. Awesome work, Matt. You're an idiot. Oh well. This gas tank right now. This petcock. So right now I've got it in reserve and nothing's coming out. If I turn it to prime, I should start to see stuff come out, and that's good. So I'm going to turn it back to reserve. Now it's vacuum operated, so once this line ends, this should shut off. That's working as intended. I hooked the vacuum line up, so when I pull a vacuum on it, this should work. Look at that. Pretty sweet. And when I let off, the line should drain out and stop. So it's working. I don't think I have enough fuel in it that the on would work, so I'm just going to get the rest of this fuel out of it and call it a day on the tank.